Should you strengthen your deltoids to help heal a rotator cuff tear? Deltoid strengthening involves exercises like these: front raises or side raises, or even overhead presses where you're pushing the weight straight up overhead. All of these exercises make a rotator cuff tear worse. Here's why it's worse. When you are raising your arm up or even just straight out like this, you're using your deltoid muscles for sure, which deltoid muscles are not visible on the skeleton. They would be covering everything that you see here. They would be the muscles over this part right here. But when you go to raise your arm up like that, deltoids work, but so do the rotator cuff muscles. And the thing is, when you pick up your arm right here in this zone, and when you have to reach up overhead, you're going to go through that same zone. You're putting a lot of tension through the rotator cuff tendons. And then the other thing is you're using your deltoids a lot, and the line of pull of the deltoid muscles actually works against what the rotator cuff tendons are supposed to do. The deltoid muscles attach on the outside of the shoulder blade and the collarbone, and then they run down and attach to the upper arm bone right here. And because of their line of pull, they're going to pull the ball up away from the socket. So you can see the socket right here. It's going to pull the ball up and away from the socket. And the job of the rotator cuff muscles is to pull the ball into the socket. So by strengthening the deltoid muscles, you're actually working against what your rotator cuff muscles need. They need help getting the ball into the socket. This is why many people that do deltoid exercises like the front raises, side raises, and overhead presses, they run into problems with more shoulder pain from doing these exercises. And many people charge through the exercises, like they keep going even though it hurts, in hopes that it's going to make the rotator cuff tear pain go away and improve the rotator cuff tear, maybe even heal naturally. But what it actually does is, over time, as you get stronger deltoids, because you're going to work out your deltoids by doing this exercise, you actually make more tension go on to the rotator cuff tendons, and eventually your tear is going to get worse. You're going to worsen the condition. An alternative to doing deltoid exercises is to strengthen your upper trap muscles. These are your shrugging muscles that live right in this area right here between your neck and your shoulder. They connect from your neck bones and out to the shoulder blade above the deltoids. And when you get stronger in those muscles, specifically with overhead reaching movements, then you can take some pressure off the rotator cuff tendons and you don't make the deltoids work as hard. That's a good thing, because then you're not fighting against your rotator cuff tendons. And getting stronger upper trap muscles actually takes pressure off the area, because you're pulling this part of the bone, the shoulder blade bone. This is called the acromion. Oftentimes you get compression in this area when you have a rotator cuff tear, but if you can get the upper trap stronger, it helps to pull that part away to improve the resting posture of the joint, as well as the mechanics while you're going through motion. The best way to work your upper trap muscles is by working them into an overhead motion. Now, my favorite exercise is what's called a push press, and it looks like an overhead press. It is an overhead press, but I like to contrast it with what most people are doing, which is what I would call a strict press. A strict press is when you don't use any momentum from your lower body to push the weights up overhead. That means all the force is going through your deltoids, your rotator cuff muscles, and your shrugging muscles. But a push press involves you slightly bending your knees and hips, basically doing a mini squat, and then using your legs and hips to push up, just like that. And with that momentum, then you're pushing the weights up overhead. So you're getting some help, or cheating, as some people would say, to get the weights up overhead. Now, when you do that, when you use your legs to help the weight up, what you're doing is offloading this part of the lift at the bottom, where you would be using your rotator cuff muscles excessively. So if you use that little boost from your legs, then you give your rotator cuff muscles a break, and then as long as you're shrugging at the top of the motion, you're working out your upper trap muscles, and it's an effective exercise to help your rotator cuff tendon tear. This is why I think that push press is an excellent exercise to strengthen your upper trap muscles to help prevent a rotator cuff injury. Now, A disclaimer here is that if it hurts to do this, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to heal a bit more first. Your rotator cuff tendon is not ready for it. This is something that you would do at a later stage in healing, not at the beginning, like when you're very painful, you're having trouble reaching up overhead. Don't do overhead exercises at all, definitely not with weights. Don't do push press, even though it's a good exercise for you. Later, it's not a good exercise in the early stages when you need to be doing some easier things to promote healing. This is to promote correcting the muscle imbalance so that you're not running into another rotator cuff tear later on because you're strengthening your deltoids and it's working against your rotator cuff tendons. I'll often have people work their way from doing small weights like these are 3 pounds each, and doing anywhere from 20 to 30 reps with breaks in between, every 10 reps or so, and working their way up to doing 50 reps, 5 sets of 10, and even 100 reps, 10 sets of 10, with the right weight that doesn't make them hurt, and of course they can do with proper form using their upper traps and never bothering the rotator cuff tendons. It's a good way to progress your strength. Hey, if you're looking for more tips like this to help your rotator cuff tendon tear heal, I've got tons of videos with advice, tips, exercises here on YouTube, and I've put them all in a playlist for you called the Rotator Cuff Tear Help Playlist. It's linked in the description below. I've also got a comprehensive program that walks you through all the steps of naturally healing a rotator cuff tear without surgery so that you can get long-term relief from your rotator cuff tendon tear. It's called the Rotator Cuff Tear Recovery Program. You'll find a link for that in the description down below too. Hey, if this video was helpful for you, please give us a thumbs up. Please share this with somebody you think needs to see this. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the helpful videos that we post each and every week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.